I'm barefoot. Yeah, it's kind of nice. I know it's a little thing, but I rarely go barefoot in the voodoo garden. Well, I haven't in a long time because we have spiders in here, and we also have millipedes all over the place. And even though millipedes really aren't a problem, I had one crawl in between my toes once, and although they're not going to poison me or anything, it just kind of creeped me out. So I've been wearing socks down here for the longest time. I noticed, though, since I've been putting out these sticky traps on the floor, no millipedes, so I'm winging it today, all barefoot and everything. Welcome back to the Voodoo Garden, everybody. My name is Ray. I am the host of the Voodoo Garden. I think it was last episode, not quite sure. Maybe it was one before that. But one episode I focused on giants in the Voodoo Garden. That focused on things that are growing tall, things that are going to grow really huge in here, even though I do have some limited space. Today, I want to go the other end of the spectrum. Today, I'm going to focus on the tiny things, the little things in life. And I got one of those little teeny tiny things in my hand. I've been trying all kinds of new things. Friends have been sending me things such as plant starts and seeds and all kinds of weird stuff from all the way over from India. I've received things and I wanted to show them off because I want you to see them right when they first start out. That way we can follow along and we can see how they're going to grow in the Voodoo Garden, because I have no idea. I have no idea how they're going to work. It's all an experiment. Everything I grow is an experiment because I like to try new and different things, and I never really know how they're going to work out. Soil conditions, light conditions, an act of nature, you never know what's going to happen to change the path that these plants are going on. But some nice things have been happening. I wanted to share them with you. So why don't you have a seat? Actually, I cleared a seat for you this time, the little garden bench over there. Have a seat and I'll bring some stuff over to you and we can sit down together and take a look at the newest stuff that's going on. It's actually, even though they're tiny, I think they're quite fascinating, and they're going to be something that are going to be in the Voodoo Garden for quite some time. So have a seat and I'll grab some stuff and I'll meet you over there, okay? Oh, I got all kinds of cute little boogers over here to show you. Okay, I'm going to start with the one right in front of you. This right here, I believe, yeah, this is called a balloon milkweed. Yeah, a balloon milkweed. I don't have an adult one right now, so if you want to find it, look, Google it online. Balloon milkweed. I know milkweed sounds kind of weird. What? You're going to grow milkweed? Isn't that a weed? Well, yeah, it is. But I was looking online through eBay, and you know, I get lost on eBay because they have seed section, plant sections, and I just go nuts. Some things are only 99 cents or 25 cents, and how can I say no? Free shipping and everything. So I got a balloon milkweed. I planted this in June, and one of them came up. I planted about a dozen seeds. Only one came up. And milkweed is a wonderful thing. Monarch butterflies, I believe, require milkweed in order to reproduce. They lay their eggs on it. Their caterpillars will munch on the leaves, and the butterflies pollinate the flowers and stuff. They feed off the nectar. That is a very essential thing for them. A lot of people will try and rid their property of milkweed when it's actually very beneficial. And I guess if you have allergies, that's one thing. But milkweed actually has a beautiful smell to the flowers. I like it, and I have it growing wild on my property. This is called balloon milkweed. It's just a little bit different, and this is a little teeny tiny plant. I don't know if you can grow milkweed indoors. I don't know anybody that ever has grown milkweed indoors, and lastly, I don't know anybody that wants to. But I do want to. I'm not sure if this is what it's supposed to look like. Wouldn't it be funny if that wasn't even the milkweed at all? It was just some kind of random weed that was growing in here. I'm going to show you this now because later on, as time goes on, they're going to grow up. And I would like for you to be able to say, oh, I remember that when you first got it. It was just teeny tiny. You can start plants from seeds or from little starts. I prefer to start from seeds because they're less expensive. And one thing that is very unassuming, this doesn't look like much at all, does it? Maybe wondering, why are you showing me a cup of dirt? Well, if you look in that cup of dirt real close, you can see little tiny green dots. Those are called butterfly bush. And I don't have an adult one, so I can't show you, and I don't want to invade anybody's copyright, so I don't want to post a picture. But when you get done with the program, or you can pause this and open up another window on your computer, look up butterfly bush. It's a beauty. Normally it's grown outdoors. I'm going to start this in the Voodoo Garden. This is not destined to live in the Voodoo Garden as far as I know. I don't think I can grow this underneath artificial lights. I'm going to grow this throughout the winter if possible. and then keep potting it up to larger size pots. Eventually, I'd like to transplant this outside because I like things that flower naturally and I don't have to really focus on. I don't really go for annual flowers like pansies and little tiny flowers that you get for bedding flowers. I like things that bring back their own flowers year after year with a minimum of effort. So a blooming bush or tree is perfect for my wants. And so there it is, the itty bitty dots. I can't believe they're so tiny. It's amazing how things like this can survive in nature. When there's an army of insects, things walking around, wind, dry soil, and these things can survive. It's incredible. This one I got a lot of flack for growing one, showing the pods. This is called a trumpet vine. Yep. So people that don't like trumpet vine, they're cringing right now. You go, no, trumpet vine. Yeah. Trumpet vine is known to be invasive because it's so darn good at growing. But the flowers are beautiful. They're red, long, elegant looking, beautiful trumpet flowers. They attract pollinators. I'm thinking, isn't it hummingbirds that like trumpet flowers? And I love hummingbirds. It's one of Mike's favorite birds. And that's one of the reasons I want to grow trumpet vine. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to grow it here in the voodoo garden. See, this isn't going to go outside. I might grow one from seed to take outside, but I'd also like to grow one here up on the wall, up to your left, where the passion fruit was, and have it vine all over the wall. And that way it's not going to take over any neighbor's property, and I can have the flowers right here in the voodoo garden. Wouldn't that be a beautiful addition? Well, anyway, here's what a little tiny invasive trumpet vine looks like when it's just itty bitty in a cup. I also planted this in June. Most of these were planted in June. This one as well. Oops. Oh boy, this one's like right up your nose, isn't it? Sorry. This arrived, let me put it down here so you can see it. This little stick was a seed. A whole bunch of seeds I got from a friend over in India. Yeah, all the way from India. He sent me seeds for a neem tree. Neem, N-E-E-M, neem. Now neem is a natural chemical that we use to treat our plants. Whenever we have insects attacking our plants, you spray neem on it. You can get it already mixed up in a bottle and you spray it on your plants or on your soil. Gets rid of fungus gnats, spider mites, all kinds of bad things. Well, the neem tree, from what I understand, is naturally resistant to insects because, of course, it's neem. That is a hoot! So I'm going to be growing a neem tree inside. I don't believe it'll grow outside year-round, so that's going to be something I'm going to be growing here in the voodoo garden. And one other item, I need to move this ridiculous stool because it's in my way. This arrived as a little dried-up stick, and I forgot that he was sending this. He sent that with the neem seeds. This right here is a desert rose. Yes, a desert rose. All it was this little brown thing with a little brown, dried, dead-looking root, and this was real spongy, like it had dried out, because it takes a long time to arrive from India. I tossed it into some soil, and since it is desert rose, I looked it up and I figured, well, it likes a very well-drained sandy soil. Well, I don't have any sand. So what I did was I tripled up on the vermiculite in this soil. This is my regular potting mix, and I put a ton of vermiculite in here to make it very well drained and very light. And that way it'll get the nutrition of the potting soil and the compost tea that I'm using, but it'll have the well-drained benefits of the vermiculite. And as soon as this starts growing, I know it's not going to grow in this cup for long at all because the root goes almost all the way to the bottom. I just wanted to see if I can bring it back to life. Once it starts growing, then as soon as it's stable in here, I'm going to transplant this into a larger pot. It's a really funky looking plant. And you can Google that, by the way, desert rose. Now on top, let me try and hold this still, the little dead top, the dried up part is starting to fall away. And look. Ah, see it? Yep, a little green leaf is popping out of here. I'm so darn proud of this thing. It reminds me so much of the Buddha belly because it's going to have this really bulbous looking bottom and these leaves and flowers on top. It is going to be one perfect addition to the voodoo garden. And so I want to thank my friend in India. Thank you so much for donating these great specimens to the voodoo garden. I really do appreciate it, and I'm going to take very good care of them for you. Yep, believe it or not, this little palm tree This is an avocado. Yeah, well, you can see the little avocado down there. Is this not strange or what? I have no idea what's going on here. I wanted to give you a side view because I wanted you to see actually how short this thing is. It's only hand tall. It doesn't seem to be growing tall very fast at all. One thing it does seem to be doing is putting out one heck of a lot of leaves. Some of you may have grown avocados before and you know that this is not standard behavior for an avocado. Generally, they put out longer leaves and they put more growth between the leaves. I've grown avocados and that's how they normally grow for me as well. So this is something that I find a little bit strange. I don't know what's going on with this thing. What I do know is it's doing okay. It started to look like it was having a bit of a nutrient deficiency, and so I increased the compost tea. And then the newer leaves seem to be getting darker. It seems to be outgrowing that a little bit. So I'm hoping it's going to be doing okay. I don't know if this one's going to survive, but I'm hoping it will, because I sure would like to have an avocado in the voodoo garden. And since I can't let it grow tall, I'm going to have to prune it back. Yes, I'm going to have to do the ray pruning thing on it. As soon as it gets taller, see, I don't know if this is going to be a dwarf or if it's going to grow taller. So I'm going to wait until it's at least twice as tall before I start pruning it back. And once I do, it should start putting out side shoots, and then I'll have a little avocado bush instead of an avocado tree, because I really am not going to have room for too awful many more tall plants. And the reason for that is just to the right over here. This is the largest pot I have. It's a 16-inch pot, and I believe that's diameter. I have no idea how tall it is, but this holds a lot of soil. It's practically a 5-gallon container, and this little plant isn't going to stay little for very long. This is my New Mexico green chili. It's rather small now, but I got a feeling it's going to grow big. But I figured, what the heck, this will fit in with my little tiny plants thing for right now. Someday we're going to look back and laugh at how tiny this thing was. At least I'm hoping we will. I'm crossing my fingers. This one has been pinched back, and I like to do that to make sure that the stems sturdy up really fast. One thing I noticed about this, now by the way, before I go any further, just because you have pepper plants doesn't mean they all grow the same or look the same. You noticed on my outdoor videos I showed, different plants that I'm growing. Different tomato plants have different growing features, pepper plants the same way. I'm growing a jalapeno plant out there, and you're going to see that one in the upcoming Praxis program. Now that one has a tall, lanky look to it, the jalapeno. Now, whereas the orange habanero, which is growing not too far from it, it has more of a condensed look with smaller leaves. This one here, look at that. These have big, beautiful leaves, and I'm not giving it any special treatment, anything different than I did the other ones. So I'm hoping this one will grow up big and bushy, but I don't know. Like I said, I've never grown this before, so I guess we're going to find out together. Well, that pretty much does it for the teeny tinies on this episode. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Yeah, I know it was a short episode. I just wanted to give you a heads up on what's to come in the voodoo garden, and with a little bit of luck, these are going to be absolute beauties as they grow up. If you have any kind of questions, oh, by the way, before I end this, keep in mind that right about now, the stores are starting to clear out their plants, because midsummer, people are done buying plants generally for their gardens. They've already planted their gardens, so vegetable plants are slashed almost to nothing. Indoor plants as well, they want to get rid of these things because they want to start getting in their autumn stuff. Stores are strange. They want to make sure that they're ahead of the season. So they're starting to think of Halloween right now in summer, starting to get their stuff in instead of aside. Mike works at Walmart, so he tells me these things. So right about now, you might see things like indoor plants, the little ones in the little tiny pots, are going on sale, the big ones as well. But if you want to save yourself some money, start out with the real teeny tiny ones and then grow them to the larger ones. Yeah, we can buy giant plants and they're beautiful and stuff. And that's all well and good if you want to have instant results. That's fine. I prefer the journey, because once I get to the destination, I'm kind of unsettled and a little bit dissatisfied, because I like the journey. Once I get there, it's kind of like running a race. Once you get there, you won, everybody applauds, and you're done, and then you go home. But it's the running of the race that's fun. It's I don't know. For me, it's the process. So I'm enjoying this. Once this gets really big, I'm probably not going to enjoy it as much as I do right now. So what I would recommend is, if you want to enjoy the journey just a little bit more, look for the little things. And right about now, they're cheap. They're giving them away practically at the garden centers and stuff. And that reminds me, I got to stock up on potting soil. I'm almost out of potting soil. And I think within the next month or so, the stores start marking their potting soil down. So keep an eye out for that. You want to think in advance. Buy the things that are basically going out of season now. And that way you won't pay premium price first thing in the spring. All right, thank you for joining me, by the way. In the Voodoo Garden, I do appreciate it. If you have any questions concerning any of your teeny tinies or your giant plants, post it in the comment section below. I'll get back to you. Until next time, this is Ray and his friends. We are out of here. Just that simple. I give that poor thing whiplash, don't I? Gotta be gentle. You're just babies. I keep forgetting. You're just itty bitty. Poor things. I put you right back where you belong. It's a balancing act. It really is. Don't want these things falling on my head again. And yeah, this light generally is on. I just turned it off for the filming. I don't want to blind you. It is pretty blinding, isn't it?